Hi, um, I'm going to talk about my terrible chronic migraines. It's a very misunderstood illness. I've had it for about 9 years. I was episodic, and I went chronic in 2010. I am still on a journey to find something to control my migraines. Right now, I'm doing pretty well. My goal is really to stay out of the emergency room. I'm on an anti-seizure med, Lamictal, which is a preventative that seems to have definitely helped tone them down. I also get Botox therapy every 3 months, where I get about 18 shots all over my head, and that seems to help lessen the severity as well. I have fibromyalgia on top of all this, but I have to say the migraines are the worst pain I've ever had in my entire life. I don't wish them upon anyone, and they just come out of nowhere. You never know if you're going to be able to control it with meds, if you're going to get to the point of vomiting, to the point where I have to crawl into the shower to try and get rid of the nausea. I just want other people out there that know people with migraines. There are many different levels to migraines, just like asthma. Some people might have just light asthma, they have a cold, or they have, severe asthma, they get a cold and they could die. Obviously, I have the most severe of the migraines. I've been hospitalized numerous times because I go into status migrainosis, which really you just want to die when you have that much pain in your head. I've broken my foot. I've had other really painful things, but they just don't compare. I'd rather have pain anywhere else because it makes you not be able to think straight. I have to wear this lovely huge bag of ice on my head, and I lay in a dark room. Feels like most of the time. I only get out of the house 1 to 2 times a week. And I go to my doctor. I go to every doctor I can. I have a neurologist, a rheumatologist, a physiatrist, a cardiologist because I have tachycardia and prehypertension. And, I don't, not my regular doctor, my gynecologist. I'm going to get a mammogram, I go to the dentist, I do everything I can to keep up on my health. The dermatologist, all I do is go to doctors. That's the big highlight to get dressed for, or go to the health food store. Pretty pathetic. Prior to the migraines, I lived in New York. I was living in Newport. I would go back and forth. I was shoe modeling. I traveled for that. I just was a really fast-paced person. I lived in New York for 6 years. I was a fashion stylist. Loved the city. Loved how fast the pace was. I could totally keep up. I moved to Newport, and I lived there for about 17 years. And I loved it because it was similar to the city. But anyway, back to the migraines. I've joined migraine support groups, and they do help. I was in one, and it was small because it had just started, and we got to really know each other, in the members, because it wasn't that large. Now I find it's too many people, too many negative comments. It doesn't really feel like a support group, and it's probably because when people are in pain, I'm kind of crabby. It's really hard not to be. That's another thing is when you have chronic pain and you don't feel good, you don't want to be around anybody. Because you don't really have anything good to say. Except, all I do is to talk about is my migraines. When I talk to anyone, they're always like, so, how are your migraines? Like, I'm just my migraines. I stopped eating gluten a couple weeks ago, and it really, really helped. I really think it's like my gastro air. I can't even talk right now. My stomach has something to do with my migraines, some kind of food. I think I have a gluten intolerance. Of course, I've done this diet before. I've tried every kind of all-natural therapy, acupuncture, cranial sacral therapy, master herbalists. I've done oil pulling. I do shots of vinegar. Supplements, smoothies. But the gluten-free, I could tell a difference. But of course, Tuesday night, I had started to get a little bit of a migraine, and I was supposed to leave the next day to fly up north to go to doctors. And we had ordered out, and the place we ordered from is like an Italian place, so of course there's like nothing, that's no gluten. So I ordered the chicken piccata and ate mostly the chicken, but I did have some pasta because I do love it, and I cheated and I paid for it. That later that night, my migraine progressed so bad that yesterday I just was in bed all day. Percocet wasn't working. Any of my medicine just wasn't working. So I just was laying on ice all day, all night. Last night I could sleep a little bit, but I was having like stressful dreams. I wake up and I have to get more ice. And it makes you crazy it makes you feel like you're crazy, because you just can't believe that you can feel this terrible for so long and so often. So, if anything, I hope this helps more than anything people that don't have migraines to understand the people that do. We don't want this. We're not doing it for attention. I mean, I don't know what kind of attention I get in a room by myself. We're not lazy. Who wants to lay around this much? So, a little compassion and a little even if you say, I don't totally understand, but I know you're not feeling well, that's really all it comes down to, is the pain. And you usually can tell when you look in someone's eyes which side it's on. I mean, it's pretty. I've had my eye almost shut. One side of my face sometimes droops. There are different kinds of migraines as well. So anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and go lie down. So I hope this helps someone.